If you're experiencing bloating, but you're eating healthy foods, you're probably confused as to why you're getting bloated. Trust me, I've been there. Today I'm sharing 5 healthy foods that you're probably eating that are causing you to get bloated and why it's happening in today's video. Alright guys, if you're new to my channel and you don't know who I am, my name's Autumn and I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with my master's in nutrition and human performance. On my channel, I'm typically talking about the science-backed and holistic methods that you can use in order to achieve your wellness dreams. So if you have a wellness goal in mind, make sure you subscribe. Now, first things first, we have to clear something up. What causes bloating? Now, most bloating isn't from just water retention. In fact, the bloating that typically most of us are feeling where our bellies are really expanded and it's painful is from bacterial fermentation in your GI tract. Now, some foods that you eat not only provide you energy, it also provides your gut bacteria a whole buffet's worth of energy. And when your gut bacteria gets fed, it undergoes a process called fermentation. And a natural byproduct of this fermentation is gas. Have you ever had a food in a container where it goes bad, but you've kept it a little too long in the fridge and it starts to puff out in the container? That is fermentation happening in action, and it's the same thing that's happening in your belly. It's that bacteria forming that gas and your belly acting as the container that's being puffed out. It's essentially that bacteria just creating little bacteria farts that are getting trapped within your intestines and causing you to feel bloated. Depending on each person's gut bacteria or GI health, you might have a bigger or a smaller response to these foods. And that's something important to keep in mind as we go through this list of foods, because some people can eat these healthy foods and be fine and experience zero bloat, while others might experience massive bloat from these foods. Now let's jump into these foods that I see typically cause the most bacteria farts so that you can test out removing them and seeing if it helps you. Number 1. Beans and chickpeas, especially when improperly cooked. Beans and chickpeas in general contain high levels of something called oligosaccharides, which is a type of carbohydrate that our body isn't able to break down. We just don't have the enzymes in order to do it. As a result, your gut bacteria is essentially sitting down to a Thanksgiving feast when you eat a bowl of chickpeas or beans. Now, if you properly soak and cook your beans at home, this can help to reduce the oligosaccharide content that would typically lead to bloating. However, there are some people who still have the same strong bloating response regardless of how the beans or chickpeas are cooked. I would recommend first trying to properly soak and cook beans and chickpeas to see if your body responds better. If not, then you might want to remove them completely. Number 2. Grains. Grains that have not been refined contain a good amount of fiber, but fiber is one of those foods that our gut bacteria really likes to eat. If you aren't used to eating fiber and you suddenly eat a lot of fiber, or if you have GI issues such as IBS or SIBO, fiber from whole grains could lead to a lot of bloating. And this is not even factoring in the inflammatory response that a lot of people have to grains in general. Number 3. High lactose dairy products. Lactose, which is the milk sugar, can't be broken down by everyone. Some people have what's called lactase persistence, which means that they can still break down, still use lactose as energy well past infancy. In this circumstance, you'll be able to consume high quality dairy products and not experience any bloating. However, there are still many people who do not have this lactase persistence. If you can't break down that lactose, that milk sugar, then it gets passed along to your gut bacteria to break down, and that can then cause that fermentation and then the bloating. Now, even some lactose intolerant people can still have some dairy products that are naturally low in lactose, and these typically include ghee and butter and hard cheeses, but it's important to test out to see how your body responds. Number 4. Sugar alcohols. These sugar replacements have become really popular with the rise of the keto diet, and some of these sugar alcohols include xylitol, erythritol, and mannitol. There are a ton of others, but if you see something that ends in OL, then it probably is a sugar alcohol. And these aren't alcohols in the sense where you can get drunk off of it. Instead, they act like sugar by tasting like sugar, but they don't act like sugar because they can't be broken down and used in the same way as sugar. In theory, it provides you all the perks of the sweet taste of sugar without the blood glucose rising effects of regular sugar. But because it can't be broken down and used as energy, it remains in your GI tract and it is therefore allowed to be broken down by that gut bacteria and then fermented. And for some people, it can result in some pretty severe and painful bloating. Number 5. Raw vegetables. I love salads, but there are definitely some people that do better off having only cooked vegetables versus raw. Cooking the vegetable helps to soften those cellulose fibers so that your body can more easily gain access to the nutrients that are within the vegetable. Cooking your vegetables is essentially a form of pre-digestion that makes it easier for your body to reach those nutrients. Raw vegetables, on the other hand, require a lot more breakdown within the GI tract and within your body in order to reach those nutrients. And because it takes more energy and time, it can slow down the GI tract, so your GI tract actually has the ability to reach those nutrients and the time to reach those nutrients. But this extra time in the GI tract also makes it so that your GI bacteria or your gut bacteria can also have more time to ferment those fibers. This slowing of the GI tract allows your bacteria to have more time to nibble away at those fibers and therefore produce more gas in the process. If you already have IBS or severe bloating in general, cooking your vegetables rather than having them raw can really help with reducing bloating. Some foods are definitely sneaky when it comes to acting against your wellness goals. And in fact, I recommend you check out the 10 foods you thought were healthy but are actually actively working against your wellness goals right here. Also, if you're new to my channel and you love the science-backed information, make sure you subscribe right here. I come out with new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video.